Namaskar. In these days, much about culture has been discussed, especially regarding the Indian culture. Before rejecting or accepting anything, we have to understand the basic words which are used in those particular contexts. And culture is also such a word. And even we have to understand the meaning of the very word India. Now, we shall see the Indian equivalent for these things. Indian culture, generally called as Bharatiya Sanskriti. First, we have to go for these things. Better to talk about Bharatiya Sanskriti than Indian culture because we have to know about ourselves. Knowing ourselves through our language is always better. Anyway, it is for the purpose of information, and so we can as well adopt English. However, the basic terminology and their context should always be taken from the originals. It is something like proper names. I am Ganesh, and somebody is Suresh, and some other person is Padmaja. Like that it goes. We cannot translate the names into other languages. Ganesha cannot be called as Lord of Groups. Suresha cannot be called as Lord of Gods. Likewise, Indian culture should be taken in the context of Bharatiya Sanskriti. Bharatiya has come from the word Bharata. Bharata is India, but the meaning has a special connotation. Bharata is the son of Dushyanta and Shakuntala, after whose name the whole country is revered. Bharata literally means one who bears, and our country is known for sustenance, to bear and to feed. The very meaning of dharma is that. Dharanat dharma ityahuhu dharmo dharayati prajaha. So says the great epic Mahabharata. Means, Bharata, the word, has its root in dharma. Dharma is not religion, it's the global ethic, it's the cosmic compromise, it's for the betterment of one and all, irrespective of caste, creed, and society. It surpasses the barriers of gender, social, economic, political, and other orders. In that sense, I think, and our saints too thought so, and even our rishis, they proclaimed that Bharata is equivalent of dharma. Means it is sustenance. It's a global compromise and a cosmic ethic. In that sense, Bharatiya means something connected with Bharata. And Bharata is also connected with Bharata. Bharatasya idam Bharatam, Bharatasya idam Bharatiyam. Bharata means the people who belong to Bharata, the community which belongs to Bharata. That is how the meaning is expounded. We have another way of interpreting also. That is Bhayam Rataha Bharataha. Bha means light and delight. Like Prabha, we have Prakrishta Bha, Prabha. Means people who are interested in light, they are called Bharatas. The country which is interested in light is called Bharata. Means our country, our nation, and our people since time immemorial are interested in light. Light is the symbolism of awareness. Light is nothing but bliss enlightened, bliss of enchantment. In that sense, our country naturally represents love for knowledge, love for wisdom, and passion for anything sublime. In that sense, Bharata should be understood. It is just sheer love for knowledge. Mere love for knowledge itself can rescue us because hunger for knowledge is a product of sincere love and sincere passion. This is how we have to understand the word Bharata and Bharata. Then comes the word Sanskriti. Sanskriti literally means Samyak Kritihi Sanskritihi. Well done. Anything well done is culture. Anything done is nature. That is Prakriti. Prakrishta Kritihi, Samyak Kritihi. These are the etymologies of these two words. And Sanskrit is such a beautiful language, such a powerful language too. Every word has beautiful connotations, having multi-layered meanings, resounding to great heights. In that sense, when we see Sanskriti is a thing which is well done. But in this context, in the context of culture, this word is not used in our traditional texts. We have some other word called sanskara. Both mean the same. but the shades of meanings they differ slightly. Sanskara is refinement at the individual level. Sanskriti is refinement at the social level, at the national level. Our texts and our tradition emphasized more on the refinement of the individual than on the refinement of the society. Because society by and large is very abstract. None can designate what it is. It is very, very difficult to define a forest, but you can define a tree. What's a tree? You can comprehend, you can feel and understand, and as well explain. But it is very difficult to say what's a forest. How many trees you need to make a forest? How many animals, how many birds you need to make a forest? It's a very difficult and debatable issue. But what's a tree? What's a bird? And what's an animal? It's rather easier to explain. And so, individual accountability is far more concrete and far more attainable. It's a tangible end. In that sense, we are having emphasis on samskara. And that's why individual is given importance with respect to his duties. All our texts and all our shastras, they emphasize more on the duties of a person than on the rights. Because any society which is just right conscious cannot do good to others. Always thinking of one's own self, thinking of one's own ends, he cannot do good to anybody. In that sense, we see if one is honest, one is duty bound, one is committed to what he has to do and what he has to dispose of, then none need crave for their rights. If all the teachers do their duties well, no student need shout for good teaching, good lessons. If all the parents take care of their children well, no child has to cry for its rights. So everybody are committed to duties naturally means a good society, a flourishing society. In this sense, Bharatiya Sanskriti, Indian culture, is duty bound and it is more accountable than any other society. In the West, generally, it is the society that is more important than the individual. Because whether it is religion or custom or whatever, it's all society oriented, it is all system oriented. But here, Uddhared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avsadayet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. So says Bhagavan Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. One is accountable to one's own self. This self-correction and self-sustainability and self-respect and commitment for duty, for the upliftment of one and all, is the hallmark of Indian culture.